Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Good morning, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and the world's gone rugby crazy. I know England's out, but you have to support your local team, and I've just worked out with the aid of an atlas that I live nearer to France than I do to Wales. So, va-va-voom.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
Good morning, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and I'm with Alan Cochrane, the Cockerel. Hold on. I'm with Emily Dean. And I'm with my best man, who I just take along to
He's here
all
again,
sorts of official meetings, although he has no capacity at Absolute Radio. And he's going to broker a meeting with me and Radio Lincoln.
Is he?
This afternoon.
Early for satire, isn't it?
It is. It's early. I wait to start.
We're off the satire block.
Oh, I'm doing satire before my head leaves the pillow. Don't worry about that. I think Neil Fox said that. Not Neil Fox. When I say Neil Fox, that was a slip of the tongue. He's not involved in any way. The good doctor has not resigned. I am very glad to say. That would be terrible. So, if you want to text us, you can text us on 81215.
Are you a bit warmer, Frank? Oh,
I'm a little bit warmer.
He's been moaning.
Oh. I'm really feeling the cold today. You know how it is.
And it's turned.
Yeah, it has turned.
I like saying it's turned, even if it hasn't. I just like saying it.
My government heating allowance check hasn't come yet. And I'm damned if I'm turning it up before it does. So, yes, I need some more layers, if that's what I mean. I don't know if you know I run a chicken farm. But anyway, they're in the post apparently. So, what did you see by the way, the big lottery winners this week?
Did I see them?
Yes.
I love them.
Now that man, Mr. Lottery Winner man, has made a terrible error, because in the sort of excitement of it all, he went on telly and said, we've done a list, we're giving money to our family, all of our family, and all our friends will be getting some money. At what point this week, as he woke up like 3 a.m. thinking, actually, I don't. Why?
Did I say all?
Yeah. Why did I say I was going to give people money? I'm not going to give anyone any money.
Didn't they reckon they were going to make 20 of their friends millionaires?
Oh, see that? You don't. Just let it. Give it a minute. Let it sink
They
in.
put the number on it, though.
Yeah,
They
don't
put
say
the
on national television. Imagine if you're the mate watching. What if you're one of the ones who aren't made a millionaire?
Yeah.
One of those mates.
Your friend number 21.
Yeah. Oh, God, how wicked will that be?
I'm a big fan of their style as well, their joint style. She favours a cropped faux fur with a Russian jean.
Does she?
Nothing wrong with that.
She did look at me. She's East European. She looks a little bit East European. I don't mean that in a fashionably unkind way.
No.
She looks like she could have been the mother of someone in Tattoo. Do you know what I mean?
He's got hate on the old knuckles, hasn't he? Which is a bit retro. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Although you couldn't see that it was definitely hate because there was a sovereign ring on one finger, so it was HT.
Well, I imagine all those letters will be covered by sovereign rings by now.
Not long now. Yeah.
I imagine he's wearing a sovereign cummerbund, an enormous. Anyway, good luck to them.
Oh, yeah.
And their 20 friends.
I wouldn't mind being a pound behind them. Let's say that.
Yeah, I think they should have said we're going to give them to 19 of our friends and then a member of the public chosen at random.
Oh, yeah.
And they could have sort of completely hijacked the lottery this week. They could have said, we're going to go through the phone book and blah, blah. It would have been more exciting.
Oh, the numbers would have been easier as well, wouldn't they? Isn't it 16 million to 1 or something to win the lottery?
Well, it could be you, though, apparently.
It could be me, yeah.
Yeah, so don't give up on that one, by any means. What a week I had.
Have you won £101 million on the lottery?
I did, but I forgot to collect it, to be honest.
In fact, we've had a tweet about your week.
Oh, really?
This was from Melanie Fillmore, who says, I really enjoyed, at Frank on Absolute, she calls you. That's your Twitter handle.
Yes,
that's what
my
our
Twitter.
CVers say.
That's my Twitter handle that I've never used. And never will use!
At Cheltenham Literary Festival last night.
I was there last weekend.
Well,
yes.
Melanie says he rebuffed an invitation to a swingers party admirably. Very amusing.
Yes. What? That's not as exciting as it sounds. It wasn't from King Louis, who I believe is some sort of regal figure in the swinging world.
It's not very Cheltenham, and it's not very CLF.
Well, no, someone said to me there's quite a big scene. I mean, it's early in the morning, so let's not go into exactly what there's a big swingers scene, and a woman said, but this woman put her hand up and said, I live on the race course, she began, which I thought was a peculiar... What? I thought she was a suffragette who'd been there for like about 100 years, who jumped in front of the King's horse and he swerved, and she was too embarrassed to go home to say she'd been missed. But she invited me to a dubious party.
Oh.
But I don't know if she was completely serious. I gave her a firm no.
Oh, it was firm then.
Yes, very firm. I wasn't going to be dragged in.
No.
Firm is a racecourse term, though, isn't it?
It is, yes. It did. I soon turfed her out. I said I soon. Yes, I'm now moving to terminology from the racecourse that I think is going to get more adult, so I'm going to stop doing that. Okay.
But did you have a good time at the CLF?
Oh, I met all sorts of people. I met Mark Logue. That's who I met. Who? Exactly. He came up to me and he said, "Hello, I'm Mark Logue," and then he left that pause for me to go, "Oh," and I looked. I wanted to know who he was, but I didn't. He said, "My grandfather taught George VI not to stammer." Oh. And I said, "Oh, you're one of those blokes." And he's written a book about all that. And I spoke to him for about 10 minutes, and I realised my accent had gone.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
So any impediment, it's like I didn't even touch the hem of his garment. Did I mention his garment? No. So that was very exciting, and I've been given a note. Do you want me to play the next? I'll play the next song. I mean, I'll just do what I'm told. It was very interesting, man, very calming, relaxing, man.
Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah, I slept like a log.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
So I had. I met him. I did a book signing at Cheltenham, which is always a terrifying thing. I always imagine. I once went into a bookshop and there was an author I didn't know, and they were sitting at a table with a pile of books either side of them, peering through. No queue. No, nothing. And they had the biro in their hand. I mean, at least put the biro down, like, you could pretend you weren't at a sign, you could just be resting.
Don't be poised.
Yeah, maybe you'd come over a bit faint and somebody had run and got you a table and chair and a pile of books to sit and relax and, give you a bit of shade in the shade of the piles of books. But no, don't stand there with the biro poised.
Did you have a healthy line, though?
It was. Though I say so, I shouldn't. It was quite a good line, and a couple came up to me. How lovely is this? And this man said, "Our first date was when you played Cheltenham 2 years ago, and now here we are back again." So it was a sort of a.
I like the way you say played Cheltenham, like you're Bon Jovi.
Yeah, exactly.
I enjoy that enormously.
Well, I was certainly living on a prayer.
And was that the literary festival? Or
the literary festival. But it was how lovely to be. I felt like a romantic, instead of in one squalid way, I was just flogging a book, but in another way, I was like a gypsy violinist outside an outdoor cafe. You know what I mean? It was nice. If you can be outside an outdoor cafe.
And a very civilised first date too. Like when you first said it, I was thinking they meant they'd come to see your stand-up, which is always high stakes on a first date.
It is, isn't
going
it? Yeah.
to see stand-up, like you could have.
I always find that, but then I'm sometimes dating the comics. Very high stakes.
Well, I used to worry about first dates coming to my gigs because it's quite an overture for a relationship. You know what I mean? There's a lot to talk about after. Lots to tick and lots to cross off. The first time, Kath, my girlfriend, our first date was it was a bit. Some people they like to cut to the chase as far as the physical side of a relationship and do that straight away and not have the long romantic going out for. Yeah, we began. I texted Kath or emailed her, I think, at work. She worked at the same place. And said, "Shall we go on holiday?" So I cut straight to the holiday. So our first date was a holiday.
Wow, that's
I like that. That was quite celebrity of you, because celebrities speed things up like they buy a dog after a week or something, don't they? Together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I said, I said, I'll take you anywhere in the world. And she said, OK, the Lake District. So I thought, oh, good. Cheap. Love is going to be, chip shop type of a relationship. I'll tell you something. You know what I've said to you before, that I always struggle when I have to sign things, because I never think of anything funny to say and I feel terrible pressure. Can you never take that one bit of phrase there? I can never think of anything funny to say and isolate it and use it against me. Can I just make that clear? I might have to spoil it with fairy liquid, the way people with eating disorders do when they put food in the bin. But several people asked me to sign the book I've Got Pig Iron.
No.
Yeah, which is something I used to shout a lot on this show.
Long-time listeners.
Faded away.
Oh,
but how lovely that they remembered that. I was genuinely moved.
That's nice.
Something though on an interesting artistic point. I don't know if you remember, but last week I started the show with a joke about Victorian telesales. Which
Yes.
I was immensely proud of. It's come to me at the last minute, and I went away
Some of your
thinking,
best work, that, Frank.
thinking I have set the nation rocking with laughter with that one. I was proud. I was genuinely proud. So proud that when I did the talk at was interviewed at Cheltenham on the night, I thought I'm going to tell them that because I want to hear that laugh, and I did the same. The Victorian telesales joke, nothing.
Oh, wow. Frank.
And it makes me wonder how much stuff I release into the ether whilst doing this show, thinking that has set the nation roaring, and people are just looking.
It is
just
weird
looking at each other.
Of all of your ouvre, that's what you thought. All right, I'll use that at the Cheltenham Literary Festival.
He was pleased with it.
I thought it was a masterpiece. I thought
He had that little look on his face, his eyes twinkle.
I even referred to it, thinking that people might find it funnier in hindsight. That didn't work either.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
I have a question. Did you see the news article this week about
A news article?
A news
Are
article.
you going through the papers?
Go
Is it
through the
like
papers,
on
like
Sky News when people come on and go through the papers? How exciting.
I feel like I ought to self-educate in my role as media pundit. Is that not what I'm here for?
I like it when they do it on their telly. There's a suggestion that you can't expect the public to go through the papers on their own.
No, they've got stuff going down, haven't they, the public?
Exactly.
They've got to deal with the school run and cooking and cleaning, whatever it is
Just
that they're getting on
breathing.
with. Whereas we're in the media, so I've gone through the papers.
Well done.
But typically, I've ignored some of the bigger stories in favour of thinking through my stomach as usual.
I hope you've saved me some of those very interesting leaflets that one often finds in the papers.
Oh yeah, I've got some here for zip-up shoes and elastic waistband trousers.
Well, that's my winter sorted.
And the body muff, that's my favourite.
Pardon?
Yeah, I've heard that. Carry on.
Back to the story, shall we?
Yeah.
Did you see this guy that has lived off roadkill for 30 years?
Respect.
Yeah, respect.
See him? I've lived with him.
Have you?
I think there's something brilliant about that,
Oh,
isn't
I
it?
thought it was fantastic. He eats
disgusting.
owl curry, which is great. And
Owl curry.
Owl curry.
Can I
Very
say
other
that
things.
owl is quite unusual roadkill, isn't it?
It is.
Does he live near the owner of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
I think maybe. Where is it that he lives? I think he lives in Dorset.
How do owls get run over?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a very near-sighted owl who can no longer spot field mice from the sky. He's had to come down and track them.
It's not even like they can claim that it was in their blind spot, is it? Because they've got 360 spinny heads, haven't
Exactly,
they?
yeah.
Owls. I hope when they
Well,
make
he
the curry...
says, he's quite forensic about it. He says, if I don't know how an animal has died, before I eat it, I'll perform an autopsy on it first.
What?
He says that.
Yeah.
He performs
I do that with all meat.
He's like Quincy. Quincy MD.
I won't eat a steak and kidney pie if I haven't got the paperwork.
Really?
No, if it's when it was killed and by whom.
There's quite
And how.
Quite
Frank,
a long
that,
sheet.
that autopsy information, for me, that moved him from kind of lovable local character territory into downright creepy, I'm
Right,
afraid.
he's gone from eccentric
Yeah.
to sinister.
Well, it's better,
in
though.
one
It's
easy
better
step.
than leading animals into a shed and hitting them with a big electric prod, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, well, that's
I
his
like
claim.
someone whose diet is basically chosen by fate.
Badger stew.
Badger stew. That's not a person that he knows. That's something that he's cooked.
Yeah, but if it's dead anyway. That's my point.
Yeah, that's his point too. He doesn't buy supermarket meat, I guess, I suppose.
No need.
30 years. And people go around for it.
I tell you what worries me is if he's sitting at home and he thinks, "Oh, I'd love a bit of badger stew." Is he going to leave it to chance, or is he going to get the car out?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I happen to have a friend who's very into roadkill and eats roadkill as well.
What? Oh, just hold on a minute.
Yeah, I've got a mate that eats roadkill, and the law is...
I thought this bloke was a complete one-off. You've got a mate who does it.
Yeah, comedian Rob Rouse is a fan of roadkill, and he eats it, and he told me... He told me that you're not allowed to pick up what you've hit. You have to leave it, and the person after. Because if not, there's the danger that you could use your car as a weapon to kill creatures.
Strange law of the streets.
It's not even the law of the jungle. I think it's the law of the highway and jungle. It's a sort of weird... But yeah, he's gone for everything, hasn't he, this guy? And some of it he's found by foraging just animals that have died, I guess.
Yeah.
But that, you don't know what they've died of for a start.
Well, he does, because he's a taxidermist, and
he performs autopsies like Quincy.
Oh, he's a See, I once had this long conversation with Laura Solon, who's very interested in taxidermy. I asked her if it would be... Because she, one of the problems...
Like the worst name-dropping conversation we've had, Rob Rouse and Laura Solon.
No, but look, one of the problems, I think, of taxidermy is getting dead animals.
Yeah.
And I was talking about roadkill.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, one of the problems is they're often... they've got quite a bit of a tyre mark on them. And I wondered if you could mix and match. If you found, if you found 3 different rabbits... I mean, why keep it to the same species?
Yeah.
Bit of fox, bit of badger. You could have a fabulous
dog and badger. Dog and badger. Call it the Dodger.
Has texted in.
Well, you could call it if there was a pub called the Dog and Badger, you could make them a dog/badger, which they could have in a glass case in the bar as a conversation piece.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
212 Frank has texted in, is Al Curry not the pub landlord anymore?
Tremendous stuff. I'll tell you what, I would like people to text in. What unusual things they've eaten. Let's keep it clean.
I will eat anything through politeness. If somebody serves it up, I'll have it. I've had whale when in Iceland. Didn't realise that they were endangered at the time. But also, if you're a house guest at people and they offer you a delicacy, you have it, don't you?
Yeah.
Not if David Baddiel offers you goat curry, but that's another story.
Would.
You turn down goat curry?
I'd have it.
I think we'll come to that after this. Okay. Very interesting to find out what Emily turned down at David Baddiel's house.
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. That was, I think you'd call it the Do. It's D-O anyway, and it's called Too Insistent.
With D-O with a slash through the O, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
one of those
Nordic,
Scandinavian.
Nordic or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about it at length, because obviously this bit won't go out in an hour's time on digital radio.
I'd quite forgotten that.
Well, that was my little subtle reminder.
But we do want to talk about roadkill and the man who eats it, who I'm still rather obsessed by.
Yes.
No, and it's a great story.
I like the fact, Frank, as well, that he sort of draws the line at certain things. Like, he's quite down on moles, I find.
You won't eat moles?
He says they're horrible, they have a rancid taste.
And at least he tried them.
Yeah. He's not sure about mice as well. Huh? Apparently, he described me...
mice qualify as roadkill. I shouldn't think there's a lot left to work with if a mouse gets it.
I did think that. Some of the things that he's eating are quite small. There's not great portioning going on.
No.
You're quite adventurous with food, Frank.
I hope he's got a freezer. Would he eat a fox?
Oh, I'd never eat a fox.
No, fox is in there. He's had fox, and apparently the people that come round to his for dinner, they like fox. Which made me think that he's a sort of early trailblazer for the story of the Gruffalo, but that's only going to appeal to parents of children of certain age.
There'll be lots of those listening.
Good, excellent.
I hope they take off the little waistcoat first.
Yeah, I don't think they all wear those.
I thought they did.
I think that's optional on a fox. I swerved to avoid a fox once, and it is best man. Crossing the road with him at the time. Yeah, shouldn't have been there.
Do you know, that's so good, I want you to repeat that at the Cheltenham Literary Festival next year.
Yes, I think it might be a little out of date by then.
Yeah, stale fox.
Your things, yeah. So...
He has squirrel stir-fry, which I thought was a mistake. Surely if you can have squirrel, don't serve it as a stir-fry, serve it as a nibble. Hey, squirrel nibbles.
I'm with you.
They do, don't they?
Yeah. They do. Do they nibble or do they gnaw?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've not thought it through.
Yeah, I don't know. They might nibble. I'm not writing it off. I've had a lot. I suppose the most outrageous thing I ate was live squid.
Ooh.
Oh.
Which was in Korea.
Oh, was it? Was it a
uh,
football-based trip?
It was football-based, and it's quite lively, the squid.
Korea, can be, I hear.
No, live squid. No, this was South Korea.
Oh, okay.
North Korea is a bit more...
bit more tasty.
It's a bit more low-key.
Yeah.
But, so I don't... maybe I shouldn't describe it on the road. It sounds a bit cruel, but anyway, you eat it while it's still kicking, and you have to put oil on it before you put it in your mouth so that it can't get any purchase with its suckers. Oh. You know they have those suckers on the tentacles.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, all right.
So it'll get a grip on your tongue and your throat on the way down if you don't.
Producer looks like she may be physically sick at this stage.
Oh no, sorry, sorry about that. I'll change the No, but you can feel the suckers against your throat. It's like eating a bath mat. It's. Yeah, but it did taste nice.
Snail porridge, Frank?
I have had snail porridge. Yeah.
Oh, what did you think?
I'll eat anything, basically.
Do you know you will? And it's one of your best qualities.
Thanks very much, but let's not go into that now. I had putrefied shark in Iceland.
Were you in Iceland? Yeah. That's their delicacy.
How did you find shark?
Well, they bury it in the ground until it rots, absolutely rots, and then they cut it into cubes, and you eat it like that. But it is the strongest. It was like Vic Vapor Rub, if you're familiar with that.
Oh,
so it clears your head beautifully.
Oh yeah, perfect. It's not a snack though, is it?
It's not
I wouldn't want it as a food stuff.
No, but you know, I like a bit of novelty when you're out and about abroad, and because I don't drink, I have to eat weird stuff. So you know, I've had dog and crocodile and mosquito. No, not mosquito. That'd be ridiculous. Scorpion.
I've had chocolate-covered ants. My brother-in-law got me chocolate-covered ants for Christmas last year.
Oh, that's a nice present.
It's all right. Yeah.
Black or red?
Is this that programme again?
No, this is a new version of it. I've heard that did you say they're going to recommission it if they change the format?
No, to what?
Which is basically saying we're going to recommission a programme.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. The chocolate covered that I haven't tried.
All right. I'll tell you what else I had. I walked up to a football, you know, the sort of the burger vans at the football. I walked up to one of those, ordered a burger as the woman sneezed into her hands, and I thought, she'll wash her hands before serving me my burger, and she just served me my burger, and I ate it through politeness. That's crippling, isn't it? And now again, Emma looks a bit ill.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit ill myself, and I believe that's how the typhoid epidemic of the 1930s started. Oh, no.
Absolute Radio, Frank Skinner.
One of the great things about doing a radio show with the deputy editor of In Style magazine is we get searing comments about the ladies' outfits on the telly. We have the telly on mute in the background.
We should just say that's Emily, by the way, in case anyone's thinking that the cockerel's got a day job in.
Yeah, I love the idea that you could be the deputy editor of In Style. It would be Style STILE, and it would be a rambling magazine. That's my view. On Style magazine with a picture of a man in Wellingtons.
Yeah, that sounds like
Now, this woman, as you said, had got a terrible bra on.
Well, no, I wasn't sure whether she had one, and I just think it's important when appearing on telly, or in life, really.
I agree.
Proper bra.
I agree.
Sort all
that
area out.
The worst thing is the two-story bra, you know that
I
one?
know, you have a serious issue with that.
I don't like that. Do you know that when you get like the fold in the middle?
Oh, yeah.
It's a kind of balconette effect.
It is.
Let's leave it there.
What does the French say about busty women? They say du monde de balcon. The world on their balcony is the idea. What a fabulous thing.
Oh, rather like that.
I'm very pro-French now that I've worked out how close we live to them. So, what else?
Well,
we have various people with their missives saying what weird stuff they've eaten.
Oh yeah, what have they eaten?
With 720 has let us know, my friend is right, you cannot take what you kill home. My friend and I took home a dead deer.
That's a result, isn't it?
My friend and I took home a dead deer we found on the road. I don't like venison, but hey, why not? That's basically a text version of it's free, isn't it? That's nice.
And you can go divining with the head.
He could have.
Just hold it by the end of the antlers, and
He
you'll
probably did, but opted not to tell us because it's under 140 characters.
Yeah, fair enough.
Divining with the head. Oh, that'd eat up his quota.
Head dividing.
Yeah. Strangest thing I ate was rat curry in Paris. Was it Paris? Yeah. Rat curry in a Vietnamese place in Paris. That's globalisation for you in a sentence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vietnamese place in Paris.
I'd be afeard of eating rat, I think.
Would you?
Oh, yeah.
I associate them with a lot of disease carrying.
Sewers and stuff like that. Yeah.
And also be worried that after I might find myself going, which is something I personally couldn't live with.
156, Frank, do you think this roadkill guy makes foxtail soup? Oh.
That is one of the pluses, of course, is you get to keep the tails for hats.
Yeah. Grizzly Adams.
Yeah. I was thinking Davy Crockett, but I think his was coonskin cat. Was it raccoon?
I was thinking Foxy Bingo once again.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah. I suppose it's more of a foxy lottery when they're crossing the road. Poor creatures.
So, Frank, what did you think of old Macca's nuptials?
Well, I love Paul McCartney. He is a national treasure, I think, and I was very delighted about the whole thing. I couldn't believe that neighbours complained about him making a noise. If the Beatles can't make a noise, what's the point?
It's weird. What kind of neighbourhood relationship were they hoping for?
I'll tell you something I noticed, though, is that, first of all, there's a son called James McCartney who I've never heard of before. It seems to have come out of nowhere.
Who also does the thumbs-up gesture, I noticed.
I noticed that. And also, there was a picture of, is it Nancy, the bride?
Oh, yes, I love her.
Yeah, she was doing a thumbs-up as well.
Really?
So much talk about the influence the Beatles have had on culture and music, but it's the thumbs-up that they are continuing to spread.
Big fans of the thumbs up.
You see, I just assumed it was a hereditary thing, perhaps. No, but it's true, because when I saw the Sunday, I thought, well, it's really curious. Why is he doing it? It might be like a sloping shoulders thing or something.
Do you think they're aliens? You know in the Invaders, that old sci-fi TV show, the aliens couldn't bend their little fingers. That's how you could spot them.
Oh no!
You had to get them to drink tea. Really, ideally, was. Yeah.
The neighbours, Frank, though, is. What was strange and I couldn't work out is who would possibly have an axe to grind? Who would possibly be so upset about this wedding that they might decide to call the police?
Yes.
I don't think it's somewhere in Newcastle, maybe.
Well, it's I know. I see what you're getting at. Well, there was a comment in the Daily Mail when this woman called Sue said, "Am I the only person on this planet who can't stand Paul McCartney?" And I thought, no, I think there's one other person.
Yeah. Where have you been? Have you not read the book?
And that's it. But I wonder how Ringo, because Ringo was there, and Ringo did his peace sign, which he always does. What is it with the Beatles with their hand gesture rivalry?
Ringo was asked, as he got a comment to make, and he said peace and love, which is like his catchpersonage.
All he ever says. Yeah, but you say it's his catchphrase. It's not something he's thought, I've had a brilliant idea, something that no one's ever said before. Peace and love.
I think what it is that if he doesn't say peace and love, he knows that what he will say is Thomas the Tank Engine pulled into the station.
Problem. But what about when he told people he wasn't signing autographs anymore, and he said, "I'm warning you with peace and love." Can you do that anyway? But why don't they? One of them come up with a really original and different hand gesture and blow the other one out the water. I think what they should do is they should construct some sort of shadow puppet hand gesture that looks like a beetle. You could do the antennae with the... I'm demonstrating this now. You'll have to trust me, listeners.
Webcam time.
And then reflect like a large beetle on the wall behind them, and then, who's going to want a thumbs up after that?
Do you know what? I'm happy to donate my arthritic claw. It's up for grabs. Should Ringo want it?
I'm glad that it's up for grabs. That seems very apt.
course, the other reason for the neighbours going and asking for the music to be turned down is that they may have known that Mark Ronson was about to start his DJ sets. That was another
did
thing.
he do that?
It was literally just as he was about to begin. I wonder if it was actually Macca regretting having booked him and just sending a text, no, you couldn't come round and complain, could you? So that we can turn this down.
Do you think he rued booking him?
He may.
Was it a macaroo? Oh dear, I'm terribly sorry, everyone.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Frank, we've had a text in from Kaz. She says, Mum used to give us a teaspoon, I don't know if it's teaspoon or tablespoon, of Vicks Rub when we had a cold, and she used to put sugar on it to make it taste better. Did you get this treat as a child? I like that she thinks that out of the three of us, perhaps it was you that would have got this treat.
Yeah, probably. That's probably a safe bet. But no, we never... If we got sore throats, my mum used to give us a spoonful of butter with sugar, dipped in sugar, and we had to swallow that in one go.
Really? Oh, sounds quite nice.
And hot pop, of course. Hot pop for a cold. So, anyway, I don't know if the young people who listen to this show want to hear about hot pop. They probably want to hear some hot pop.
We should just say that we are asking people what weird things they've eaten, shouldn't we? Just in case anybody's just turned on and thought, what is this talk of Vicks and sugar? Somebody's texted in, 050 has texted in saying that, hang on, I've now lost it. Where's it gone to? Well, there it is. Dipping toast in your cup of tea. Is it just me who thinks that's gross? Then again, I have been known to eat my wife's toenails.
What,
Yeah.
dipped in tea? Or?
No, it doesn't mention that.
No.
But dipping toast in your cup of tea, he thinks that's gross, but then he's fine to eat wife's toenails.
I don't mind eating toenails if you take the pith off the back. You know what I mean? I don't mind the crackling, but I don't like the...
Curious hearing that phrase used in that context, and I like it.
Crackling.
Yeah.
I like that.
I had my photograph taken this week.
Oh, lovely.
I'm in the midst of a showbiz whirl at the moment. We're recording. Oh, I tell you what,
Do you know, you're never off.
No, it's true. I'm recording. Oh God, do you really want to hear? I'll tell you anyway. We're doing. We're doing Room 101, and we're recording at the moment. We had Hilary Devey on this week. You know, from
she made her millions in the haulage industry.
I've heard that.
Didn't she?
She's taken on a look. She's a very glamorous woman, but taken on a look of Laurence Olivier's Richard III, which I think is a fashion approach, which has been there was one, I think the first replacement in Bananarama, the one who replaced Siobhan Fahey, she had that same look.
Oh, yeah.
Very rare, but she's a very glamorous woman, Hilary, and nobody got my Divet of the Dragon joke. Can I just point that out? Which I thought was quite clever. But
that's a first-class joke, Frank.
Thank you very much. But it's been that kind of a week, and so I ended up doing what I can only call a photo shoot.
Oh,
lovely.
Literary festivals.
Which hoodie?
I know,
Which hoodie
crazy.
did you crack out? Did you go
Well,
electric
no, I was
blue?
very suit and tie,
Did you go
yes.
suit and tie?
and I picked up an interesting tip about what to do with my face, basically. So I've been wondering.
I'm all ears.
Yeah, well, that's one of my problems. No, apparently I look at my best when my eyes are very wide open. It's a sort of a quick fix facelift. A look of astonishment is what I need to adopt.
Doing one now. I'm thinking, is this working for me?
So you see, I'm going to do one now just for you to see. When I do that, I look younger, because all the wrinkles disappear. Right. So I don't need to be airbrushed. I need to be ambushed, ideally. But when I'm astonished, apparently it knocks 10 years off me.
Oh.
So if you've got anything astonishing to tell me, please do.
The pros never smile, you'll notice.
What do they do?
For that reason. Frank's
I know the pros never
right.
smile, but that's a different story.
No,
The pros never smile. They're not paid that much.
They don't kiss either, it's a film, isn't it?
Oh, anyway.
But no, it's true, because my godmother, 70s pop singer Lindsay DePaul,
Yes.
taught me a trick, which is...
Won't somebody dance with me?
well, there you go.
Yeah.
My godmother, 70s pop singer Lindsay DePaul, taught me a trick. She always used to say to me when I was you're quite a young child, she'd go, Emmy, tongue behind the teeth. And that means if you put your tongue behind your teeth when you're posing, your jawline will stay intact.
Is that right?
Why I needed to worry about this age 7, I'm not quite sure. But start early.
Did you go top or bottom
Like
teeth? behind.
Not that everyone can see. I'm gonna.
Well, top set or bottom set?
Top set, tongue behind top set, and it gives you a nut. Oh, you're doing it, Alan.
There's
You look
people
lovely.
doing it now whilst they're sitting having their cornflakes.
Gary Bushell. Do you remember Gary Bushell used to be the,
Yes.
the Sun columnist? Gary Bushell, he probably would be called if he worked in America.
I'm perplexed as to what his bearing is in this fashion photo conversation.
Well, I was being photographed once at wherever it is where the Sun places are. Where is he?
Oh, Wapping.
Oh, Wapping, that's right. And I was being... you had to be photographed with him when he interviewed you. And he said the secret is to laugh out loud when you're being... So if you look like you're smiling, you go, ha, 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 and it looks more natural in the... It doesn't look like one of those fixed false grins.
Oh, really?
And I've used that a lot, often without warning the person who's photographing me, if photographing isn't acceptable.
Nearly there.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll say, OK, I'm just going to get you a picture, and I go, ha, 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 for the duration. And some people don't like it. It's as simple as that.
Well, Frank, you have to choose between your eyes and your teeth anyway when being photographed.
Is it?
Yeah. Because if you want to have a nice smile, your eyes aren't going to look nice. Your eyes will look a bit Ryan Giggs. Where, do you see what I mean?
Yes.
It's one or the other.
What, wandering?
It's like a lady. Very good. It's like being a lady when you get older. You have to choose between your bottom and your face.
Oh.
Have you not heard this?
No, but
Frank.
that's why I carry a coin at all times.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
I worked with Julian Clary once, and he's one of these people who's worked out his good side and his bad side.
Oh, I think I did that once and then forgot it.
Yeah, I'm still searching, personally, but he was very... I was in a ITV pantomime with him, and all the scenes had to be changed round so that his good side was facing the camera.
Is that right?
Really?
And I thought, it's a good job I haven't got a good side, because what about if we both had the same good side? That would have been a difficult scene. We'd have to have done every scene on a tandem. But someone told me that he wouldn't do the Michael Parkinson show because Michael Parkinson wouldn't change sides from where he normally... I mean, that's extreme, isn't he? He could have sat... They could have been done like, cab driver style. He could have sat behind.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it didn't happen.
Did he have a touch of Bell's palsy or something? Was it that?
Touch of Bell's palsy.
Was it that? Was that why he was going for the other side?
I think he had a touch of Paul's Belsy. But, what else?
Frank, I'd just like to read out this email we've had in from
yes.
Madeline. And
Lovely name.
I love it. It's regarding cat kill. She says, what's the opinion of eating cat kill? My cat brings me rabbits, pigeons, weasels and loads of smaller things on a regular basis. He spent time and effort killing these, and my standard response is to bin these gifts. Am I allowed to eat these kills? They're free-range organic, already dead.
It's a brilliant idea. It's like Tesco home delivery.
Yeah.
It is. Have them. I think, given that this show's already gone on record and said that we're anti-waste, then have it.
I think it's a beautiful bonding thing for the cat as well, for it to bring you a starling and watch you eat it.
Starling seems slightly sadder though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think with the cat, you've got to you've got to eat what's been brung.
There's no shopping list, is there?
No, exactly. No, it's what it can get.
Get it down you. Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed a weird thing about myself this week. I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm scared.
It's really weird. I've noticed that I've got various gaps in my cultural knowledge where...
Oh, I've noticed that.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Well, let me tell you, it's come to my attention because I think 4 different people in the last month or two have assumed that I've seen the film Kes. Do you know the film Kes?
In fairness, Alan.
4 people in a month?
Yeah, it's really weird,
Are
isn't
you doing falconry as a pastime?
I'm not, no, but I just live in the north and people assume, I suppose.
Yeah.
And also, there's a weird thing with that
Do
film.
they still? Is that what happens in the north? People trying to wheedle cares into the conversation.
It's left, right and centre, honestly.
I think
And
Ryan Glover might have had an ooh matrix in that as well.
he might have, but I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know.
See, I'm sorry.
Did he have a long leather jacket?
I think he did, yeah.
Oh, well, that's spoiler alert for me. But now I'm in this weird situation where it's now becoming clear that I need to see it because people are going to reference it all my life, aren't they? They're always going to, oh yeah, obviously you've seen Kes.
I'm
And
sure
even
it's
then
on,
somebody told me that you're meant to call it Kes because it's,
Are you?
it's short
In
for
fairness,
Kestrel.
Alan,
I think that's the Tom Jones song.
You saying this, though, is a bit like me saying, oh, I've never seen Sex and the City.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
No, of course I have.
Oh.
But that's my point.
Oh, I
It would be
see,
that
right.
ludicrous.
Yeah, or me
this is
saying
a
I've never
big-
seen Match of the Day. Yeah, I think one does expect you to have seen. I mean, come on, get your culture sorted.
I really need to do that, don't I? But it's weird that I've got loads of those. I've loads.
Well, I got approached by, I think it was the Guardian
dear.
newspaper, and you had to name a book that you a well-known book that you hadn't read,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
and mine was Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, yeah.
Which have you ever read that?
In my youth.
Yeah, you see, but it had just come out. It was the talk of the town. But no, I've never read, and it's one of those. I mean, obviously, there's loads of books I haven't read, but it's a book I feel I've been on the verge of reading for about 25 years and never got round to.
Yeah, yeah.
I like anything with a mysterious footprint at the centre of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, Robinson Crusoe, Paul McCartney's Garden last weekend.
You see,
Yeah, I've seen the stage version of Robinson Crusoe, but
Have
I
you?
don't know how much I learnt from. I don't know how close it was to the book. Let's put it this way: it starred Norman Wisdom. Wow, it's an odd choice. I was thinking about this. As I recalled the Norman Wisdom, it's an odd choice. It was a panto, Robinson Crusoe. It's quite an odd choice, isn't it, for a
For a
panto?
panto, I think
Well,
it was
there's
a
one
very
man
odd
in
choice.
it for most of the time. Look out behind you. There's some sand. Takes some of the excitement out of it.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in on 037. We were showing Kes in school as part of our English studies, and that was in inner London. Maybe it was part of a cultural exchange.
For me, yeah.
That was because Alan was admitting he'd never seen the film Kes, and he was
Kes.
rather... Oh.
Kestrel. It's Kestrel.
And I'd call it Kes.
Yeah, everyone calls it Kes.
They do.
Don't start telling us what it's called. You haven't even seen it.
I haven't seen it. It's
Yeah,
weird.
mind your own business until you've entered the world of Kes with the rest of us.
But it is one of those films that you can have not seen that you still want to, whereas there are some films that I haven't seen that there's no point now, like Sixth Sense. There's no point in watching that because
No.
I know that.
No.
isn't
Oh, don't
Don't
say the ending.
Oh, they don't like
What,
spoilers.
they're like me though.
Well, no, but there
surely.
might be some people that don't know.
Oh,
There's a big
who
spoiler.
doesn't know now?
I'm still reeling from the kissing, the crying game.
That's another one I haven't seen.
No,
there we go.
No,
Spoiler
well,
alert.
that's what I thought.
What have you got against spoiler films?
There's a lot of them in there.
Well, Frank, I actually saw The Damned United recently,
Come
and
on,
that's
what's
about,
your language?
that's about 3 or 4 years old, at least.
When did you? Oh, really? Yeah.
I saw it like 2 weeks ago.
I saw it at the cinema when it came out. That's how on the button I am.
Well, can I just say, I have a brief review of The Damned United.
I love the idea that we're reviewing the Damn United.
Oh, I thought you were reviewing the briefs in the.
I'll be
Damned United.
talking about It's a Wonderful Life after this.
Yes, and I'll be doing the jazz singer with Al Jolson. Not enough dialogue. The Guardian.
An excellent film. People
The
have
Damn
to-
United.
people
There you
have to
go.
The Guardian.
Go out to
No.
your local cinema.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
bar one element.
Oh.
Michael Sheen's teeth. And I tell you for why.
Okay.
Michael Sheen, everything, the period detail was fantastic in that film. The brown swirly wallpaper.
You don't know. It's the sort of life story of. Well, not the life story. It's when Brian Clough, the well-known football manager, worked at Leeds United.
Yeah.
For a short time.
Great idea
44 days.
Great idea for a film. No, but it actually is really interesting. I loved
Yeah,
it.
well, it's a great book as
But
well.
Frank, what's going on with his teeth? He's meant to be a disgusting old 70s man, and he's got these ridiculous Simon Cowell Hollywood teeth.
How often
Don't say
does
you
that?
didn't notice.
Well, no,
It ruined the entire film
It's
for me.
true.
Oh.
I don't know why films set in the past don't bring me in as a tooth consultant. I can do medieval if I have to. If they want to look at the back molars, I can do the Dark Ages. Yeah.
But why didn't he just get some old, paint some black bits on it? Or people in the 70s drank whiskey and smoked. They didn't have teeth like that.
You're quite right. I mean, David Baddiel always used to say that the later Brian... when Brian Clough started to look terrible when the drink was out of hand, David Baddiel always used to say that he looked like a blackcurrant crumble. And he did. He went down, but he was quite a handsome young man. But no one had nice teeth in the 70s.
It just made me slightly question Michael Sheen. I have to be honest. Who I normally like. I question his.
Surely.
Well, yes, he should have had the fake teeth. I question his morality now.
The director should have lit it.
Yeah.
They should have put a little yellow underlight just tucked under the top lip like a skull bandit. That just came down there.
I know what you mean, though, about it ruining the film. I have a similar thing with The Usual Suspects, which
Don't say the ending.
Which I liked, but couldn't believe Pete Postlethwaite as a 6-foot-odd Indian man with a really bad Indian accent.
Oh, I forgot he was an Indian man. I didn't know they did that anymore.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't that long ago that he was Irish in a cell with Giuseppe, wasn't he?
He was... He's no longer with us, I believe, Pete Postlethwaite.
No, he's gone. Yeah.
He's...
I'm not slagging him off. I'm just saying he was miscast.
I know you're not saying... No, I'm never suggesting... What? I can't believe that we've now reviewed The Damn United and criticised Pete Postlethwaite in The Usual Suspects. I'm loving it. I wasn't too sure about Robert Vaughan in The Magnificent Seven.
Really?
No, that's a lie. I thought he was magnificent. I was just trying to think of some sort of out-of-date review, and I'm afraid that was the best I could come up with. I had to lapse into error. Can you imagine how that feels for me? Oh, music.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
We've had some texts in, Frank.
Good.
456. My dad went to school with the director of Kes.
Oh, it's Kes Day, by the way, on the Frank Skinner show.
Somewhat late to the party.
Ken Loach. And one of his claims to fame is putting Ken in detention.
Oh, that's nice.
No one put.
Hold on, he went to school with him.
Yeah, his dad.
And he put him in detention.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
It's a very democratic school where the children voted on the detention of their fellow pupils.
Did he go to school at Lord of the Flies High School?
That's why Ken Loach has grown up to be a socialist. Yeah. He was put under house arrest, like,
by his own
I hope
classmates.
456 isn't lying and we haven't caught him out.
No, I don't
his
think...
dad was a teacher.
I don't think... He sounds honest to me, 456. I love the lovely sense of sequence about his name.
Yeah, it's caught on, hasn't it, 4, 5 and 6.
Yeah. How often do we get a straight flush texting?
Not that often. On the subject of strange foods, we've had somebody text in saying they knew a chap from Zimbabwe that had tasted giraffe. He said it was quite good.
Was it Egon Rohn, eh? Giraffe, did you say?
He's underwhelmed, isn't he? Yeah.
That's Robin who's texted in with that.
I like a bit of second-hand food thing, but it wasn't even Robin who tried it.
What have you...
I've never met anyone who's tried giraffe. It must come on.
One of my grandfathers must have had it, Frank.
How long is the bat that comes on?
Yeah, you'd want a hot dog roll, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we want one that went on forever. Or maybe you eat it... I'm thinking, there's 2 handles on the head of a giraffe.
Yeah.
Maybe you hold on to them and then you eat your way down towards them.
Also, I'm thinking long bench, slightly Bruegel feast. I like it.
That would be nice, yeah? You could all sit at a long bench and have a plate and then a bit more neck. And I'm only thinking about the neck. I'm sure the body's got some good meat on it.
Somewhere, yeah.
It's once you've stripped the crazy paving off the outside.
We've had an email in as well, Frank, from
things
Sid.
Are looking up.
Sid, quite sort of 80s gas campaign.
Hold on, have we got time to do this thing? We have, it's all right.
Oh, okay. Sid says, while clearing out my father-in-law's attic a few years ago...
Well, I've heard some euphemisms in my time. Yeah, carry on.
We came across some Swiss Army toilet paper. It was 20 or so small squares of Izal-type grease-proof paper.
Izal, that's the sharp stuff.
Stapled.
Probably sharper than the penknife of the same
Well, it's funny you should
origin.
say sharp, because he says stapled into a booklet with Swiss Army on the cover. What a great find, Sid.
That is... I wonder if there was one sheet of that Swiss Army toilet paper that you could use for removing excrement from a horse's hoof. I like the idea that all the toilet paper in Switzerland is that Eisel shiny stuff. I see what Lewis Hamilton and Phil Collins have to have some sort of comeback for being tax exiles.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Frank, we were talking about things that spoil films for you, and 530 has texted in to say, I struggle to suspend my disbelief in 300 when the Greek queen had a very obvious vaccine scar.
Oh, no, that could have been an asp bite, to be fair.
I like 363 has texted in on the subject of weird food. After trudging round a Thai festival, trying to find some food my wife would eat, we finally found some sausages. She took a bite, then screamed. It had what could only be described as squid tentacles sticking out of it. Or it could just be tubes in meat, couldn't it?
I like it, though. I like the idea that you could take that home and if you had a Thai submarine in the bath, you could reenact a scene from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I've not seen it.
But it's attacked by... submarine's attacked by a giant sausage at one point.
Is it? All right.
Well...
Spoiler alert.
Sort of.
That was another spoiler alert.
I love that Alan's seen no films. He's like to the wild.
I've seen some films.
I'm calling it a banger alert. That's what went off in the submarine.
Now, I had a question for you, Frank, because
I love a quiz.
In the time I've been on this show, you've admitted several times to having a very poor sense of direction. There was once where I went to the wrong floor before we started, and you empathised rather than mocked, and I was pleased by that.
Yes, I don't often take that option.
Yeah, no. That's why I was pleased, yeah. I wondered if you'd seen the story that Paolo Di Canio was meant to run a little fun run and then start the firing pistol for a half marathon, took a wrong turn and completed the whole half marathon. In his football boots with studs. I should have... No, he didn't. But
no,
he said
that could have happened. I'm actually now doing a guest appearance on the Christian O'Connell show from 2 years ago. I just can't find my way out of the station.
You see, I love Frank like a brother. I mean that. But orienteering...
I love you like a brother.
Oh, I don't know if that's so nice.
Okay.
Frank, orienteering is not your strong suit.
No. I mean, I have real problems, not just outdoors. I was working at a production company last week, and we were in this office, and I went to the toilet, and I found the toilet thanks to the directions. And when I come back, I couldn't work out how to get. So I had to go to this lady at the desk. And if you're asking where's the toilet, that's fine. But where's the office I was working in before was something she didn't have the answer to. And she looked, a bit awkward. And then luckily I saw someone who I knew from our bit of the thing, and she took me back. And then I went to the toilet a second time and got lost again.
No.
And asked the same woman. And it just, she started to think I was a sex pest, I'm sure of that. To be fair, I was just wearing a pyjama jacket. Which is a habit I need to break. No, but it's so and distressing. I don't have a clue. I can't work out where I went wrong. It's terrifying.
Yeah, you're useful to use as a reverse compass. I genuinely, when we walk somewhere and you go left, I think it's obviously right.
No, it's so true.
Unless we're on an airplane.
The closest I have to empathise is when I will try and have a run when I'm in a hotel and I get lost all the time.
You want to be careful you don't run into someone with a big tray in the corridor.
I'm often running out of hotel rooms.
But when you go running, like when you're away and you don't know where you are, and then invariably I end up lost. And I think it's partly the shorts and T-shirt. I feel really juvenile. I feel really reduced when I have to go up to a stranger and go, excuse me, do you know where I'm standing there in my shorts and T-shirt.
Well, they think you're a fleeting philanderer.
Do they?
You've had to get out of a bedroom window in your smalls.
No one's doing the walk of shame in running shorts and trainers, are they?
Well...
There might be. Daley Thompson might be.
Yeah.
No, he always wears a trackie.
Oh, he does.
All the time.
All occasions, even for a black tie.
No, I was in a cab the other night. We came to the roundabout, literally outside my flat, and I said it's right, just first exit. No, it isn't. It's the second exit. when we got there, I can't visualise it. Do you know what I mean?
That's weird, isn't it?
Paolo Di Canio, I should say, gave me... I believe it was him that pushed the referee over, wasn't it, that time? That was one of the most... I don't know if you know about that, Em. It was one of the most pleasurable things ever. It's the only time I've seen a referee dive. because he kind of just lightly pushed this bloke on the chest,
Yeah.
and the referee staggered back about 4 paces and then fell on his bum. And it was, referees are always the kids who wet themselves at school. They're always the bullied, I think. And he was, I think it was so on his hard drive that there'd be a kid kneeling down behind him when he was pushed that he fell over anyway. Those sort of referees that come from places with 2 names, those are always the wettest ones, like Leighton Buzzard.
Bishop Stortford.
If it's something like Mr. Patrick Case from Bishop Stortford, exactly, he'll be a wetter. So anyway,
He'll be a wetter.
I need to shut up. If you want to download Not the Weekend podcast, that will be available from Wednesday, and that's a completely different show. Give it a go. Next is Mark Crossley. I think we're just about done here. Thank you so much for listening. And if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back next week at the same time. Goodbye.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.